Jordy, it's really good to see you.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
Because, like, I didn't talk to you yesterday.
I know.
And I was like, I wonder how Jordy is.
I
How's
know.
Jordy? And I, like, don't know when I don't talk to you. It's so hard to know.
I know. I think here's what you can assume. If you don't talk to me,
You're sleeping?
I'm
Not
probably
doing well.
sleeping. Yeah.
Or not doing well.
Or like not doing well. But I think similar to like what everyone expected is that like I was going to struggle probably the most with this part.
Yeah.
Which is like being in an apartment in Boston, feeling better than I was, but still not good enough to really do anything, which is like my worst nightmare. So
I know.
yeah, just, like trying to remind myself like, hey, you just like put yourself through like an incredibly experimental treatment. Like your body needs time to recover. And I'm like, but like they let me go. So like I should be good. But I'm not there yet. Like, for example, you texted us about doing this morning and I was like, yeah, that works. And then I was like, fell asleep on the couch. And then Hank was like, hey, get in bed, just like rest for an hour. And then he woke me up and he's like, hey, it's time to get up. And then I like couldn't get up. And then I was like, what is happening? But now I'm up and I feel like pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I still have a headache.
Well, maybe you could share a little bit about like what that was like, because I didn't talk to you for 4 days and I didn't know what to do with myself. And so then I watched a documentary about like the first pediatric patient who had CAR T-cell infusion. It's called like Of Medicine and Miracles, or Of Miracles and Medicine. It's about Emily Whitehead, and she almost died. And so when you didn't respond for 4 days, like I knew you were okay. I knew you were really sick, but she gave me a lot of hope. So what happened?
Yeah. So basically, my main concern going into it was that I was going to like have cognitive deficit and like cognitive changes, because that's what they saw with the first 4 patients. So I was sort of like, oh, I'm going to like kind of lose my mind. I won't remember anything.
Right.
It's going to be like super scary for Hank. Like, and then I'll just like wake up and like hopefully feel better. That didn't happen. I had the infusion and it was really anticlimactic. Like they just took some of the fluid from they just took some fluid from my little bump thing right here, my Omaya catheter. And then they infused the cells and like through the same way. And it was like 10 minutes, like super quick. Did feel a lot of pressure in my head. So like I knew that I was going to have headaches, but I did not know the intensity of the headache. Like I even texted you guys. I'm like, I don't think I've ever had a headache, if this is what a headache is.
I think a headache is like actually not the right term to use for
Probably
something
not.
like this.
So they basically said it feels like a meningitis type of headache, where it like goes down into your neck and into your like shoulders, and you like can't touch your chin to your chest. And I like still have some of that tightness.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. And then it was also like a pulsating, like it just felt like someone was going like this to my brain.
Wow. And like you said, in different spots too.
In different spots. So it would like start in the back and then it would like come to the front, and then I was like, there's no way I can like be awake for this. Like, when does the confusion set in? And it just like didn't set in. Like I never lost my mind. Like I was fully fine the whole time. So then they won't give you any medicine until like, okay, that's not true. They'll give you Tylenol, but they wouldn't give me anything like stronger than that until they figured out like that my cognitive state was okay. Because they want to understand where the symptoms are coming from. Are they coming from pain meds, or are they coming from this injection? Fair. So once they figured out that I was of my right mind, and they figured that out by asking you these same questions.
Like multiple times a day.
Like multiple, I mean, first every 15 minutes, then every half hour, then every hour, then every 4 hours for the whole time you're there.
Oh my God. Did you feel like punching someone in the face?
So wait, so it's really funny. Can I read you you have to write a sentence every time you do it. Okay. So I have my sentences, and I thought it was hilarious.
Okay. Wait, did they tell you what to write, or you got to
No,
decide.
you just get to decide. And like,
Oh.
obviously you're running out of ideas, you're in pain. You're like, oh my God, please, I don't want to do any more of this. But this was
So where would you write it? With hand and paper, like paper
yeah,
and
they handed me a
pen,
clipboard
or
with
in your
a piece
okay.
of paper that had like all these lines on it for me to write. And then they'd write the date above it and then the time. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so funny me. On 7/18, which was the day of the infusion, I hope I feel well enough to walk the floor later. Okay, that was at minute 15. Then the next one. Tomorrow is Friday. Then the next one. I miss my son Brody.
Oh.
Then the next one. I hope I feel well enough to walk around tomorrow. Then the next one. These are all the same day. I hope I sleep through the night. Then
Oh my God.
we switch it up a little bit. My favorite color is green.
Wow.
Then I hope there is shrinkage on my MRI, which
Wow.
I can report is stable at the moment. So
Yeah.
still good news.
Yep.
I was happy to eat some Jell-O tonight. I'm excited to shower later today. Thank you for the snacks and Gatorade.
Wait, Jordy, this is so funny because you're like
I know.
actually sharing your thoughts.
I'm finally feeling a little better. I see a light at the end of the tunnel on
Oh my God.
7/22. I'm glad to be on the mend. I can't wait to get discharged soon. I will drink 4 water bottles today. I get to go home tomorrow. One day closer to sleeping in my bed. Thank
my
you to the
God.
amazing under 10 nurses, doctors, and staff. I will be forever grateful to you for
That was
such
a long
amazing care.
sentence. Wow.
That was my release sentence from yesterday morning.
Wait, so what did they say when you handed them back this clipboard?
Like they would like laugh or they'd be like, thank you. Cause like sometimes I was thanking them for something, but they were telling me when people were like not well,
Yeah.
they would say really mean things.
Mm.
Like, I hate you. Like, you're trying to hurt me. Like, because
Oh my
it's like you're
God.
in so much pain and like you don't know what's happening. But I was like fully with it. So I'm just
Oh my
like
God.
recording like my thoughts. Like, oh, I'm excited to like eat some Jell-O and my favorite color is green. And then the nurse would be like, oh my God, my daughter's favorite color is green.
Wait, is your favorite color still green?
I don't know, actually. I was
Yeah,
thinking
I
about
feel
that
like-
after I said it. I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
it's like-
know if my favorite color
I
is
feel like
green.
that was like a childhood claim to fame, you know?
And it's like funny because it's like one of the like, what, 5 most common colors?
Right.
Like a claim to fame. Jordy's favorite color is green.
I just feel like you've held on to that like for so long. Like you never have
guess.
questioned it.
I guess the thing is, like, when I think about it, I do still wear a bit of green.
Yeah. I feel like your favorite color green wasn't sage though. Like you had a different.
No, it was like probably like bright green.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I went through a purple phase, and then I feel like we've returned. Realistically, my favorite color is probably black, but
I was going to say, yeah.
or like something neutral. Yeah.
How
but
boring.
I guess I was trying to be fun. I don't know, make friends with the nurses.
That's just so funny you have that. I love that you have that piece too.
I know. I had to save that because I just thought it was like a nice little journey. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't really know I was in that much pain given what I was writing.
No, not at all.
No, I was
But,
just like, oh, like I'm excited to walk. Like, oh, cool. That won't happen for 10 days. So
I know. It's crazy because could have been, you got the infusion on a Tuesday. So then on Saturday, that was day 4, we got a text from Hank saying, Jordy's on the phone. And then 30 seconds later, he goes, she's off. I'm like, what happened? I would love to know.
basically like couldn't look at screens. Like it killed my eyes and like my head.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I start a conversation, and this is just me in general. So if you haven't heard from me yet, it's not a reflection of you. It's just like, I want to be able to like finish a conversation. And so if I like send you one text in the middle of the night and then like don't text you again for 3 days, like I'm just like, I'll just wait until I'm in a place where I can like show up more.
Right.
And so like, you know, like a lot of people are like reaching out to me and have questions, and I was not in a place to like answer any questions or really share anything about. I was literally sleeping or like complaining about my head or on pain meds and then sleeping again. And then I would like
Yeah.
take a shower and sit on the, I had like a bench. And that was like my like saving grace of the day was to like take a shower. That was like a good
Yeah.
day if I showered.
And
Yeah.
that says a lot because when you were post brain surgery, you would take 3 baths a day. And and like
The number
here-
of baths I took correlated with how well I was.
right. And here it's like actually showering meant you were doing a little bit better because you
Okay,
could
but do you want to
move.
hear something funny? I've already
What?
taken 2 baths.
Oh no.
I'm like
You're
now I can actually
unwell.
sit in a body of water. That sounds
Right.
nice. Yeah,
This-
because before I was just
it's-
sitting on a bench with water
Wait.
like pouring over my head.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been home for less than 24 hours.
And I've taken 2 baths. So
Yeah.
like it's not
You're
great.
not doing great.
I'm not doing great. I think I felt like really well like 3 days ago. And I sort of expected that to just like stay and be linear and like feel
I know,
better.
but we talked about this, Jordy.
We
said-
did. And still I'm feeling upset about it.
I know. But wouldn't it be weird if you were feeling so well and then you're in Boston? Like,
No,
that
I mean, it would be
also
really weird. It would also like not really be a good thing. Like,
Right.
this is supposed to take me out. Like, that means
Yeah.
it's doing its job. Basically, she told me like they look at total nucleated cells when they pull the CSF, the cerebral spinal fluid from the thing. Less than 5 is normal. And like on the day, 2 days after my infusion, it was 118. And then it was like 40 something yesterday.
Wow.
So like the goal is not for the number to always be like, the goal is for the number to always be above 5.
Yeah.
But like she's like, if I tap it and like let's say most of the cells are at your tumor site, then like we're going to get a lower number back. So she's like, my hope is like as the number decreases a little bit, it means it's attacking where it needs to be.
Oh.
So there will be less in the cerebral spinal fluid, but that we don't see it dip to a point where they're just not there at all.
Sure.
She's like, but
Wow,
even if
that's
it's
so
not there,
interesting.
she's like, it could be that they're still doing work elsewhere.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So they like, yeah. So that's like their lab was able to like calculate how many, but the like actual like super intense lab that they send them to is a more sensitive lab. So they send those out every few weeks. They like batch them
makes sense.
from all the different patients. So yeah. So overall, I am feeling frustrated because
Yeah.
I want to be a normal person and I can't right now.
I know. I know that it really sucks that you can't
Yeah.
be a normal person. And also, if you were a normal person, I think that would still be really hard because then you're like, why the F am I in Boston?
Right. Then I'm just like chilling in Boston.
Yeah.
But I think about like when you were here and I feel like we were able to do so much.
Right.
And that still might be the case like in a couple of weeks from now.
but
like,
I was like not expecting that at all. That was very
I mean, like me
surprising.
neither, because up until that point, I didn't feel well enough to do that. But I'm just like the thought of like taking Uber to like Newberry Street and then like walking around. I'm like, oh my God, what if I like get so tired and I like, need to sit down or like I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Now it's just like, I never really had that feeling when you were here when we would walk around and stuff. Like, oh, I don't
Jordy,
know. If
I
can
would
be-
get more tired than you.
I know.
Like I'm good. I'm good to sit. Yeah, I mean,
know.
we're not going to just like get dropped off in the middle of Boston. Like that
I
will
know,
be like
I
our
know.
first thing.
These are the things I think about.
I know,
These
you're
are-
so funny.
I was thinking about that and I was just thinking about like all the like things I thought I was going to be able to do. And I'm like, oh my
I
God, the
know.
idea of like having someone like here and like depending on me and like being here for me feels
Oh.
like scary, you know, like,
Does it?
like,
Yeah.
I mean, like
Oh, with Brody. Yeah.
with Brody, yeah, like it just feels like if I had to be like super on, that'd be really hard for me to do right now.
That'd be so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like kind of
You'd be like, what
impossible.
happened to my mommy?
I know.
My mommy
I
is
know.
only horizontal now.
You're actually very vertical at the moment.
At this
must
moment,
say.
I am. I took some ibuprofen this morning, so that helped.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like finding what works, and again, like trying to be patient, recognizing that I'm not really that type of
But
person.
isn't it crazy that you're done with treatment? Like you're
Yeah.
done with the trial part?
It's really weird. It's really weird. And like someone reached out to me yesterday that you put me in touch with, and she's like, my brother's like patient number 6. And I was just like, how crazy is that?
Oh yeah, so he gets in his infusion when we have your doctor appointment in Boston. And so
That's the day of his infusion?
yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe we could like go say hi to him or something.
Yeah,
To
like
give
I mean, we'll
him
see how he's feeling, I guess. But
yeah, well,
yeah,
I think we would be there like right before the infusion.
right before it doesn't feel good. Yeah, I mean, I was honest with people who asked me
Yeah.
like in the glioblastoma groups and stuff. I mean, like, yeah, I was as honest as I would be in like a general post. And then if people had like specific questions, I can give it because everybody's experience is different. So it's like, I don't want my experience to like, I don't want preconceived notions for them going into
Right.
it that it's like, they're really going to have headaches because maybe they won't. Like, some people
Sure.
didn't have as bad of headaches and had higher fevers. I didn't really have high fevers. Like, the highest my fever got was 101.
That's really crazy. And yet, like when you just say it, I don't think anyone could like truly understand like how much it took you out.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think I'm a hard person to take out. Like, you know, like you came and visited me and like we had a full on working day.
Right.
Like I was just like, oh no, like I want to keep going, being productive, which is like very on brand for me. So for me to fully not look at my phone for like 5 days, that was a testament to how down and out I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was it for you as my friend on the other side, being far away?
It was hard because I didn't want to inundate Hank with all
Right.
these texts, but I wanted to feel like I was there,
Yeah.
which is a hard place to be.
I forgot who I was talking to. I was talking to a friend. I want to say
Yeah.
it was like Tolly or something. And she's like, did Erica ask you to set up a live stream in your hospital room? And like, that is so accurate.
Oh my
Like,
God.
that's what you wanted. You just wanted me like live streaming
Yeah.
24/7, even if I'm sleeping, just
I
so you
sound
could be
so
like, oh, how's it
creepy.
going? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just, I think, yeah, Tolly texted me, like, are you okay? People
Yeah.
know I'm not okay.
Yeah.
It was really
no.
hard, too. Because there was no, like, updates to really give on
I know,
you.
because everything was like the same for like 5 days in a row.
Right. And I just want to be like, Hank, how is she? Hank, how is she? Hank, but obviously.
And he's like,
he
I don't know, because when I ask her if she wants to have a conversation, she says no.
Right. And he probably feels like I texted a lot, and I withheld more than half my urges. So
Oh, I'm sure you did.
he's probably laughing.
I feel like if it was up to you, you would legit be getting like a live streamed experience. Like Jordy just turned over. She breathed a big sigh.
it's I
Okay,
would just
her
like
next
how we
dose is
check
coming
our
up. She's going
babies.
pee.
Yeah. How we check
You
like
would've-
our baby monitor, you know?
Yeah.
I would just like do check-ins
Right.
every
We should have just
hour.
like had an Annette above me the whole
Oh
time.
God, we should have. Why didn't we
Missed
do that?
opportunity.
MGH should like rent out baby monitors.
So funny. I think they'd be like, absolutely not. That's an invasion of privacy.
Just
Oh, God.
for me. Yeah, I think Alex and I we would talk because we were just like, have you talked to her today? Have you heard anything else? We would be checking in with each other.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I need some hope right now because there was a moment of time. I was like, how could she come out of this?
Oh,
Is she gonna
same.
like be like this forever?
Right. I was just like, am I ever not going to have a headache? Because like, I can't imagine my life without this headache now. Like, I
Right.
don't know if it's going to happen for me. And they're like, yeah, no, you'll come out of it.
Well, and then Hank sent a text saying they have no indication of when she'll feel better.
And that's what
And
they
that
would say to
was-
me. They would just be like, hey,
That's-
listen, I'm so sorry you feel crummy. Secretly, not so secretly, we are so excited that you feel terrible because this is what is supposed to be happening. And if you had no response, that would have been crushing. And I'm like, okay. They're like, but it will not be this bad forever. I promise. I just can't tell you when it'll be better. I'm like, okay, cool.
I know, but then we thought 5 to 7 days, and then I like doubted that timeline, and it
I
really
know.
was
It
five to
really
seven
was like
days.
all of a sudden it was like, oh, like I don't need to be taking medicine every 2 hours. Like the pain would wake me up and I'd need to call my nurse in the middle of the night every 2 hours to take something. All of a sudden, day 6, I'm like, I've been taking medicine in 4 hours. Weird. Like my head
Yeah.
hurts, but like it's not unbearable. And then little by little, just sort of like got a little bit less each day. And instead of like a 6-7, it was like a 6-5, like a 5-6, and then a 4-5, and then a 4-3. And then
Where is it now?
the neck stiffness is still there. So it's like I still need to be on something, but I was taking like a lot more medication. Like I was cycling through different medications like every 2 hours. So like there was no break in time where I wasn't taking something. Now I can take like an ibuprofen in the morning, like a strong one, and feel like okay for a couple of hours. And
Right.
then I can like balance it out with something else if I need to. So I'm trying to stay on top of it so that like, I don't get to a place where it really is bad. But I think that it is definitely more of like a 4 at its peak or a 5 and not at an 8 or 9. I told Erica I wouldn't tell anyone that it was a 10 because I was scared what if it got worse. So I'm like a 9. And
Yeah.
then they were like, what about like what's your 10? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not answering that question.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna anchor you to my 10 because if you
No,
do,
I'm
then
not
like your
anchoring
10 could
myself
just
to the
keep
most amount of
increasing.
pain
I
I've
get
ever
it.
felt if it's going to get worse.
Right. I hear you. You don't
But it
want
was
to
definitely the
commit
most
to
amount of
that.
pain I've ever been in, including like childbirth. And I didn't, I mean, I had a medicated childbirth, like I had an epidural, but even the like days of being in labor, like leading up to that, which was like
Right.
really not fun, this was much worse. Yeah.
Well, because I was actually telling someone this that when you're in labor, there you have a lot of hormones that are like on your side.
And the
Like you
pain
have,
is purposeful, and like my pain here
yeah,
is purposeful, but you don't like get a
not in the
cute little
same
baby
way.
at the end,
And like you don't have like hormones like you don't have
like
all
pushing you
those.
forward.
Yeah.
If anything, my body's like, what is happening?
Right. This is like
What are you doing to me?
like not everyone goes through this, and like
Yeah.
your body is not evolved to handle
Yeah.
this. So I think it's a little different in that
So I think my
way.
body was just like, what did you just do to me? Like, you gave me. I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I got a T cell collection. Then I got later that week, I had my second brain surgery. Then 2 weeks later, I had 3 days of chemo. And then I got a T cell infusion. I was like, yeah, my poor body has been
Yeah.
through it.
It's been through a lot.
I forgot all the stuff I did before they even injected me. Or like even
Oh,
before I got to the hospital stay. I was like, oh wait, I was here. I was already doing things.
Right.
So
Easy to forget. Maybe we should put like a big poster board when you start like feeling antsy just to remind you.
of all that
things.
I can do.
Maybe we can make a poster board when I come out next
I think
week.
that'd be fun. We can do a little
Yeah.
arts and crafts project.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. I would
Make
love
a
to.
little timeline.
Okay, so it was hard. You were worried I was never going to come out of it. You
I watched
were
a
able to.
documentary.
You watched a documentary for hope, and to keep you from texting Hank 5 million times.
But I
So
survived your survival, so that's good.
Yeah, we both survived it, and now we're here on the other side. I got this is my MGH swag that
Oh
I
my
got.
gosh, what they give you? They give
Caring
you a
for a
hat.
cure hat, and they
Cute.
gave me like a zip up, caring for a cure like quarter zip.
Great.
It was just funny. We were like on our way out, and Hank's like, "So how about that MGH merch?" And the nurse was like, "Oh, do you want some?" He's like, "Uh huh." So we walked away with some goods.
That's so funny. I love
Yeah.
that, Hank.
I know,
Always
it was
advocating for
hilarious.
some good merch.
Yeah. Well, he was like, "Do you see they have like Patagonia?" And I'm like, "They're not going to give us their Patagonia," which they didn't.
Did they?
Understandably.
Oh.
No, of course. They're like, reserve that for the actual people who work there. But it was really funny. And we just had like the most amazing nurses and such good care. Like you could just tell that these were people who like had been nurses for a while and they like love their job on its floor. Like like you could just tell they're so passionate about it.
Wow.
And like it was cool. Like one person's been there since like 2011 and she was just like, the amount of medical science I have seen advance in my time here, she's like, it is so inspiring. She's like, it is the coolest thing to witness the things that we're doing up here, you know, because like they just didn't exist.
So great.
Yeah.
So much hope, isn't it? Like
so much hope.
Someone.
And it was just like cute. Like when I was getting discharged yesterday, the doctors came in and like the surgeon and the neuro-oncologist, and they're just like, we're like really excited. And I'm like, are you? And they're like, yeah. Like we're really excited.
So sweet.
And I'm like, I'm so glad that there are like people like you that are like passionate about this and like putting forth all this time and energy and resources into solving what people have sort of deemed like this insolvable problem.
Right.
You know?
Wait, Jordy, side note, that's totally unrelated, but I completely forgot until right now.
Okay.
I sent you water bottles and flowers and stuff to your house, to your place yesterday.
To my home at California?
No, your home in Boston.
When did you do that?
Yesterday.
Oh.
It's downstairs. Just realized.
Okay.
I forgot to tell anyone.
Okay. We'll go check.
Okay.
I also ordered water bottles last night because I was like, oh, we need some waters.
No, because I ordered,
okay.
They were there right when you got there because I knew that you wouldn't have water bottles.
Yeah, we probably didn't know they were there.
Yeah, I get
well,
that.
it's okay. We're going to have lots of water bottles now. Thank you for doing that. That was so sweet.
And I got Hank pretzels because
you got him pretzels?
He likes pretzels. Yeah.
Hank, do you hear that? She got you pretzels.
I got him pretzels because I knew he liked pretzels.
Really kind. Do you want to know a weird thing about Hank? Like,
yes,
probably one of the things that I understand least about him is that he prefers an unsalted pretzel.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Do they make unsalted pretzels?
Like, you have to scour a store for them. But yes, they do. And they're clearly inferior.
Inferior, yeah.
Like, the only reason I'm eating pretzels is because they have salt on them.
There's salt. Does he like, what kind of size pretzels does he like?
He likes the unsalted kind. He likes the sticks. Yeah.
So shape
but
matters.
Really, he'll eat any pretzels. But Hank, are you coming on to defend your unsalted pretzel situation?
Sticks are definitely not my favorite, Jord.
Oh.
Unsalted?
Sticks are one of my least favorite. Like the regular long sticks.
Okay, can I tell you what I understand that sticks are my least favorite too. The only ones that come unsalted are
No,
sticks,
they're not. It's like
them.
the small, like normal Snyder's ones. Like the normal pretzel shaped ones.
The little pretzel shapes?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you mini pretzels, Hank,
Thank you.
But I'm like 99.9% positive that there's salt on it, so you might have to dust off the salt.
Thank you.
He'll eat them with salt, but he like prefers them without, and I just feel like that's a wrong thing to feel.
You were very confident about the stick shape, but I guess you were wrong there.
I don't know. I feel like, Hank, you bought a lot of sticks. Like at your mom's house, we have those sourdough ones, the like big chunky ones.
Oh.
But those are definitely salted. But like I'm trying to remember the last time
Yeah,
you
I
bought
see it.
unsalted.
Unsalted mini Snyder's. I see it right here.
Oh, okay. So those are the ones, everyone, if you're wanting to try something extremely dull and bland. Love you, Hank.
Okay, yeah, sorry I interrupted.
Stop.
Yeah, I like interrupted that really beautiful moment, but I was like, this is where my brain is. It's like out to lunch, you know? Like I'm not fully here.
Hey guys, Hank here, producer for Grief Street. Just a few things to mention before we get back into the episode. First of all, please, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, rate, review, all those things wherever you find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, you name it. Shout out Overcast. That's my preferred podcast platform. The more you guys subscribe and rate it and leave comments, the more reach it will have. So please, 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 if you haven't already, just spread the word. Secondly, if you have any questions or feedback related to the podcast at all, whether you have a prospective guest who wants to come on, whether you are wanting to potentially advertise on our podcast, whether you just want to say thank you. We have a website. It's griefstreetpodcast.com. You could also email us at griefstreetpodcast@gmail.com, or you could message us on Instagram at griefstreetpod. Your support means so much to Jordy and Erica and myself too. Don't hesitate to reach out. We're now at a nice point where we'd love to hear from you guys. And the more feedback, the more questions, the more inquiries we have, the better, because it keeps us super invested in what we're doing. So thank you guys for that. And then finally, the second part of this podcast is going to be a Q&A. Thank you to everyone who responded on Instagram when we asked for questions for this week's podcast. There were a lot that we could get to. There also were some that we couldn't get to, so apologies for that. But I think it's a good reminder that we can definitely do a lot more of these in the future. So without further ado, here's the second part. Enjoy the Q&A, guys.
Are you excited for your head spa?
Yeah, I am. Oh, I'm
Feel
getting a
like me.
haircut on Saturday.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, just a little trim.
Just a little trim.
Just a little trim. And then, yeah, I looked online. They have like a famous head spa treatment.
That like sounds really nice.
It's, yeah, you would probably like it. They like use this like device.
Yeah, I just like I don't know if I can like get stuff like that anymore.
Oh, yeah, I
Because
probably
after-
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's okay. It's okay. It's worth it.
it is. Like, you don't need a head spa.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Hi, producer
Well, I'm
Hank.
excited for this Q&A.
Me too. I know. We haven't read through the questions, so it's going to be a surprise for all of us. This is actually really fun, though, Erica, because I feel like having other people ask us questions about
Yeah.
ourselves and our friendship is like kind of cool.
Well, I have no idea what people are about to ask. So
Me
I
neither. I
like
have zero
the like
idea.
uncertainty of it, of like, ooh.
Right. What are people wondering?
What are people wanting to know? And like, I feel like most of it would be about your treatment, but I'm still excited.
Yeah. I hope there's like some randoms in there,
Same.
you know, that are just like really funny.
We'll do off the cuff, unedited answers to your most deepest, dire questions. And while no one asked me anything,
They
Jordy
actually
has a lot
did
of
ask.
questions.
They did. Okay, well, they didn't like ask you on your own account, but they did ask questions like directed at both of us.
All right, Hank, without further ado, ask away.
Sure. Kate Snedeker wants to know, Jordy, how are you feeling as compared to days right after surgery?
The days right after surgery were like pretty rough, I feel like. Like I felt really tired and I felt really just like sluggish and slow. So I actually feel like I feel similarly, but like in terms of the pain, like my headache was worse after the surgery than it is now. But the headache after the T-cell infusion was way worse than the surgery headache.
Okay. Emily Wilkins 6576 wants to know, shout out to Emily Wilkins 6576, have you told Brody about the diagnosis? If so, how does he make sense of it?
Brody's little, so he's 2, and when I was diagnosed, he was like 14 months maybe. So we haven't had to tell him a lot in terms of like, we don't use the word sick or not feeling good or whatever. I think the hard parts are like, I obviously like had to rest a lot more after I was diagnosed, and so like he would just see mommy resting a lot. All of a sudden I had no hair. He didn't even really notice though. Like, he didn't
No.
even double take. He wasn't like, what?
He didn't like your Optune device. He kept wanting you to take that off.
Yeah, he didn't like that. Take it off, mommy. I don't like it. I'm like, okay. It's staying, except for now it's not. Yeah, no, I think overall we just have told Brody mommy and daddy are on a trip and we're going to Boston and it's an adults only trip and we will come back and you will come visit us. And like, he doesn't have a sense of time. So I think it in some ways is like a blessing that he's little because we don't have to do a ton of explaining at this moment. But at some point, he's going to have questions and wonder things. And we're going to find someone great to help us navigate that because those are hard
I know
waters.
it sucks that like you even have to get in that place now. Like when you were first diagnosed, he really was so little. Like there wasn't even really a thought about like what you would say. And he would know like mommy's sleeping and mommy's tired. But as he, as they get older, they understand more. And sometimes it's hard to know how much they understand and how much they like could understand.
Right. It's like, I know he'll hang on to words because he's like very verbal. So it's like, if I say the word sick or not feeling good or whatever, it's like, I know that that's a concept that he can like understand, but I don't even want to introduce it because he can't understand what it means beyond that. Like
of course.
So it just doesn't really make sense. So for now, mommy and daddy are on a trip in Boston on an airplane and we're coming back soon because mommies and daddies always come back.
And that's the simplest version you can give at this point in time.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's not a day that goes by without me thinking about how he gets old. The older that he gets, the closer it is to me having to explain what's actually going on.
Okay, well, let's hope I can explain it.
Right.
True. We, not me. Phoebe wants to know, did you have health anxiety prior to your diagnosis?
I can answer that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, kind of. You would definitely like look things up a lot. And
yeah, because I'm a researcher. So
yeah. And you wouldn't always like seek out, like it wouldn't like necessitate you to go and act on it all the time, but you definitely would have a lot of worried thoughts around this could be something really bad because I looked it up and worst case scenario is this, and it would concern you.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, I think back to when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I had horrific health anxiety, like about the baby, not about me.
I mean,
and like obviously it's just like part of knowing someone who you love so much that such a bad thing can happen makes it feel like it could easily happen to you. Like what you always say, you're like, well, we grew up in the same place, like same street. Like, how did you get a brain tumor and I didn't? It's like, that's how I felt about my pregnancy. It's like, oh, like I'm sure that will happen to me. But yeah, I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of doom scrolling, a lot of reading into results. I would say I am much better at not doing that now because I realize it doesn't actually do anything.
No,
like
doesn't change any outcome.
The research is not productive. It does not change the outcome. Before a doctor's appointment, like I'll make a list of questions, like I'll prepare in a way that's like productive, but I don't sit there like scrolling about like what could be. I mean, I could be doing that all day long.
Right.
And it's like,
in any way that you've become less anxious around the health stuff.
Around the health stuff, around the like death stuff. Like I think this has just sort of reminded me that like no amount of worrying or like thinking about it. I can't think my way out of this one. You know? It's like the limitation of the mind. You know, like things are going to happen regardless, and I can prepare in some ways, and then in some ways nothing you can do. Like I was worried about the neurotoxicity, right? Like, oh, I think I won't remember anything and that's going to be really stressful. Well, guess what? That didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
So I spent time thinking about that and it didn't even happen. So
and you had no control.
no control, had a really bad headache. And it's not like if I had known I was going to have a bad headache that I would have been more prepared for it. Like, no.
You couldn't have
No.
prepared for that.
Couldn't have prepared for it. So, yeah, I'd say yes to the health anxiety, but no, I wouldn't act on it. I didn't go to the doctor a lot. I wasn't like that kind of person who like would wake up with like a pain and be like, oh, I need to get this looked at.
Right.
I'd be like, no, I'll just power through. And if it's like really bad, then
Yeah, it's interesting. When something was wrong, you actually had less health anxiety. Like when your appendix was going to burst.
oh, right. Right.
But when things like aren't wrong, that's where you would have more anxiety.
Yeah. I mean, like literally thought it was period cramps and it was like full on, we need to have surgery now. So yeah,
Yep.
that's the long answer to yes to health anxiety. And I probably have it a lot less now.
I can't read this name, but somebody wants to know, share some dirt on each other.
I have a picture which I won't share, but we were in college and Jordy had pineapple vodka, and I think she's in a onesie and underwear, and it's in my kitchen. There's
the picture's
that.
in your kitchen?
You're in my kitchen. The picture's
Oh,
not
in
my
the picture.
kitchen.
You're not like hanging this picture in your kitchen.
No, that would be really, really problematic. That would be weird.
I don't know if Hank's seen this photo.
No.
I'll send it to you, Hank.
Yeah, send it to me.
I probably look pretty trashed.
Do you have dirt on me? No, there's no dirt on me. I'm an angel.
Like dirt on you? I don't even know like what that means
I know.
really, because dirt on you? No, I don't think I have dirt on you. Is that so boring?
We're purists.
No, the thing is we're not. Like I think we did a lot of like really silly things. Like for example, Erica hid a hamster in her closet for like a couple weeks because her mom said she couldn't have pets, and then she just like hid it in the closet. And like also tried to hide birds in her
Also
closet.
hid
Like,
birds in my closet.
just like weird. Like Erica's are more obscure, I think. What else? She likes to make up a lot of songs. Like when we were in middle school, like she would just make up these songs. And then when I was in the hospital the other night and I was really struggling, and Erica was like, I don't even know what to say to you because you're in so much pain. She just sang me a song about how she hoped that the hospital would give me Dilaudid and how she loved me. And it was really sweet. So
yeah, I can get really silly and make songs.
Erica like has a very silly side, which, you know, is similar to Emma in that like I feel like most people maybe wouldn't know that about you.
Right.
If they don't know you well.
Yeah, like when
Emma
Brody
can be so
was
serious.
and when Brody was screaming, like every day, I made a song about his name. It's like when I don't know what to do.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to sing the song?
Okay. Brody, Rody, O-D-D-E. Brody, Rody, O-D-D-E. Brody, 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 Rody, O-D-D-E. That's my song.
That was the Brody song.
It's his name spelled out, and you just remove one. It's like bingo. You just like remove one
you just
letter.
take one letter out. Yeah. Except
Yeah.
for yours is a little different, but yeah.
A little
But
different.
I just love it. It like brings me joy because we used to make up a lot of silly songs, and you were always like not really musical. And then it was
I'm not musical at all. It's not like I'm not really that musical. I'm like,
well, the thing is like you tried really hard though, you know?
yeah.
Like you tried to play
helped-
drums.
I tried to play. Oh, it was so funny. The other day, Ramsey and I were at like a jazz concert, and he's like, "Erica, do you want to go up there and like play the drums?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. Should I teach you how to play the drums?"
I remember you like had your like little drum set in your room. It was one of the ones where like it was electric, so it didn't make a lot of noise.
because my mom
your
did not
parents
want to
would
hear me.
Yeah, they never would have wanted that.
They
But it was
didn't support
sweet
me.
that they did support you. They bought you your own drum set.
And
It
they
was
got
just,
me like a
quiet
drum
one.
tutor, I guess.
Yeah, you had a drum teacher,
lessons.
and
He was also my math tutor.
wow, a man of many talents. And then I remember you were in the Brazilian percussion
Yeah, I feel like the dirt on me is like coming out
in high school, and you
now.
played the cuica.
I played the cuica. If anyone,
Anyways, the dirt on Erica is that she is silly.
Yeah.
Do you have video?
Of the Cuica?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I hope not. The Cuica
I think there is video of
the most
Cuica.
sexual instrument ever.
I just remember being like, you were like, yeah, I'm going to take Brazilian percussion. And I was like, what?
I just had this inner desire to be a musician that can never be fulfilled.
But this is one thing I will say. No one's asked this question, but I will just say it as a compliment to Erica, that I was always someone who was like much more risk averse and like scared of like not doing something well or like whatever. You would just fucking go. Like you decided to like play soccer and like volleyball at like a brand new high school, and like I would have been so scared. Like,
Yeah, shame didn't hit me until later, I guess. Like I just like shame. I was like, I wish I'm not
you were
that
like
way.
immune.
I know. I'm really not. Maybe it's like caught up now, but yeah, I guess so. Like I knew I was bad at all these sports and like I didn't care. It's really weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, like I can't even bring myself to like go to the practice or like sign up for the team, and you were like fully playing.
Yeah. I mean, I did say like, please don't play me in the games. I'm just here for
Right.
fun. But then when they played me, everyone cheered for me because like you cheer for the person who never plays. It's like
Of course, you cheer
they
for the
were
person
up
who's
by
willing
so
to
many
like take
points.
a risk
Let's
and
play,
be bold
Erica,
enough to try something
You know
different.
what we call that in sports?
What would you call it?
We call it the human victory cigar.
Okay, I'm the human victory cigar, I guess.
I love it. I love it. You are. That's how I think of you. I'm like, you were really fearless, which I always appreciated.
Yeah, not anymore, but that's okay. I'll channel my inner
No, you do. You
14-year-old
are
self.
still very brave, but it's just like now you have some like self-doubt, which I think is more common than not.
The last question, somebody wants to know, who is your dream podcast guest?
Okay, so I have two answers to this. My first answer is Taylor Swift.
Oh, wow.
I just want to understand how. How does she do it? Tell me about your regimen, your stamina. How do you never get sick? How do you have all these friends, travel across the world, never look tired? Like,
Yeah.
it just feels impossible. And like, also I love Taylor Swift, so like would love to just chill with her and hang with her. But truly, I want to understand how this woman is functioning because
Yeah. That's
I feel
fair.
tired just watching her. So I would want Taylor Swift on. And then my second is like, I actually think we're probably going to have this person on. And I am stoked about it. And that's my surgeon from Mass General.
Oh.
And he seemed very open to recording with us. So I just think he's super cool, super passionate, and is doing amazing things for the community. And I'm just excited to pick his brain about like how he got into this, what drives his passion. Like the life of a neurosurgeon is a lot. So I'm excited to find out with all of you.
Wow, that's great. I love that we're having one of your dream people on. That's
I know.
really exciting. I would say for me, well, once you said Taylor Swift, I was like, oh, okay, I have to get someone really, really dream. So that would be Meghan Markle.
Ooh, good
I
one.
feel like she would be great. And there's a lot of grief within her story. So, and then on my other level, it's like the true crime TV shows and movies that I watch on Netflix. I want them on. And I have reached out to like all of them and no one's replied to me. But once we really make it, we're going to have like a whole section on true crime documentary podcast interviews for Grief Street. That's my goal.
Yeah. I love true crime as well. I would say I have a balanced palette.
I have a less
in that
balanced palette.
Yeah, like Erica's like only watching like super dark, scary shit. And then that like actually happens in real life. And then like I mix that in with like some escapism Bridgerton situation because
Right.
life is hard. So I don't need to read about the worst depths of our failings as a
Humanity,
society. And
Yeah.
humanity. But I do like a little bit of that for sure because it's just interesting to think about how people operate. I was going to ask, I have one question. We can both answer it. pet peeve. What
Oh,
is my pet peeve of yours? And what is your pet peeve of mine? I know what mine is for you, and I think you
okay.
know what mine is for you.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. It's that when Erica eats something, she literally leaves one fucking bite on the plate. Like, just eat the whole thing. I don't understand. It's not even like, it's like not half a portion. It's one single bite of food. Like this much bagel and cream cheese, this much.
I know, and I've been doing it my whole life.
Your whole life. I'm just like, why? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Like, is it a mental thing? Like, it
know.
makes you feel better that you didn't finish the plate?
Maybe.
Okay.
But
Like,
it's so ingrained in me that like I just don't even notice. It's like very habitual.
Yeah, I know. And I'm always just like, why is there one bite of food on your plate?
And like it's weird to you, but it's weird because it's so normal to me.
Yeah, I know. And Ramsey probably has the same pet peeve, although he probably likes it.
He has a lot of like food pet peeves about me, but that's definitely one of them. You're like, let me ask you a question so I can tell everyone what my pet peeve is about you. You're like, I know exactly what my pet peeve is about you.
Does that make me a dick? I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I feel like I have one on like the tip of my tongue. It's like I can't exactly pin it down. Like I know what it was like years ago when we were in like high school. Is like you would say you're on your way and like you're just not on your way.
I'm not on my way at all. And like the thing is, Find My Friends fucking ruined that for me.
Yeah. And like you have brain cancer now, so like I'm not gonna hold that. And like we have kids, like it's so different. But that was definitely my pet peeve when you're like, I'm on my way, and like an hour later I'm like,
I would show.
Hey,
Like,
and no, you're like, I haven't left yet. Like I'm leaving now.
I could tell you what mine is of Jordy's.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, great. I didn't invite you into this conversation.
It's not as pronounced as it used to be, but like there would be so many times where she was adamant. It would be like 10:30 at night. Let's watch a movie. Like, I'm going to choose the movie. Let's watch a movie. Like, and she would be dead set. And then 5 minutes into the movie, just
fall
be passed
asleep.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Annoying.
That is really annoying.
Yeah. That's mine for now. I'll let you know if I think of something else, though.
Yeah,
but
that's a very accurate one because I always said I was on my way and I was never on my way.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a timely person. I wanted to be. I don't have good time management skills. We've learned this. I think, oh, okay, we need to leave in 30 minutes. I can do like 4 or 5 different things, but I can't. I can't do 4 or 5 different things in 30 minutes.
Right.
But I truly believe, I know that's another pet peeve you have of mine, Hank. I'm aware that I'm bad at managing my time.
Yeah, you're arguably the worst person that I know at time management.
Arguably the worst.
I mean, I think you are.
So harsh.
Jordy will be like, I can go across town and back and do 5 errands in an hour and a half.
Right. You're like, no, you cannot.
You can't.
You're like, strike 4 of those things and you can do that. Yeah, I just bite off more than I can chew.
Right.
I'm not good at like the planning part. Like I have a lot of ideas. This is very in line with what I learned about myself on the Colby. Have a lot of ideas, great ideas. And then like when it comes to executing them, like I'm not the best at implementing them in a structured way.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm surprised the podcast has consistently performed.
Well,
that's because of you.
No.
I think if you hadn't been on top of it, me and Erica would have thought on it for a long, long, long time.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this was fun.
Jordy, what's mine?
Oh, my pet peeve for you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where to begin?
Okay.
And I'm like,
I think we could stop. I think we can stop.
What? You asked for it.
Yeah, you're like, you asked for it. Okay, I have to go now.
Okay. I love you. This was fun.
All right.
Tune in next week. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Grief Street. We put out new episodes every Monday. If you'd like to support us, give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel to find the video version of our episodes. Please subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We would love to hear from you and get some feedback. If you'd like to contact us, please email griefstreetpodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 508-474-3378. That's 508-GRIEFST. Our theme song is Hepcat Jive, courtesy of purpleplanet.com. We'll see you next time.